Hey fellas, I'm not sure if you guys would be interested in this or not, but I'm gonna put it out there anyway. If you want to watch, you can watch. If not, just pass the video right on by. You know, I don't really care if you do. It doesn't offend me. May not have an interest at all in it, but this is kind of related to automotive and automotive tools and stuff. So I thought, hey, you know, what the heck. So anyway, here is my Harbour Freight band saw. I bought this thing used on Facebook Marketplace, and I got it for $100. I painted it all up. It really didn't look this good. This is just something I stuck on here. Anyway, I fabricated this metal tray here, and I'm gonna irrigate this thing. Now, I got parts from Amazon, and they're coming in, so it's not going to be finished for me real soon, but for you it'll seem like no time. But anyway, it's on this metal wooden box, and it's on this metal hand truck, and some people call them a dolly, and they would actually be correct with this thing because it's set up like a dolly. It's 4 wheels. Hand truck is 2 wheels. So anyway, it's on this dolly, kind of permanently mounted, and what I'm gonna do, I've already unbolted it from this wooden crate thingy, my bob. I'm going to lift it up, and I'm going to put this tray right here underneath it. Now, I've already cut some metal, we'll call them legs. They're going to go right up behind that bolt hole right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-drill these, and I'm going to put nutserts in there and bolt them on up, and this thing will be setting on stilts like that. I'm going to set it on the tray, and then I'm going to weld it to the tray, and it'll be elevated just a little bit more. For me this is just it's just a little bit too short still. It has been raised from its factory stand setting, but it's still just a little bit. If it was just a tiny bit higher, and it will be with this. So I'm gonna end up drilling a hole in the corner. I'm just not sure what I'm gonna do yet. I would like to get some kind of screen. That way I could have like a, you know, maybe a 4x8 little cutout area with a screen where the water can drain down in there. You know, kind of like they do with a regular, normal, high dollar bandsaw. But what I come up with will be, my washer plays a nice little tune when it's done. What I end up doing will be, let's put it this way. It'll go by what I have laying around. That's what I normally do. I look, see what I have laying around, and that's what I use. That's what I end up using. I try not to go buy stuff. So that is what I'm doing in the nutshell. So you can follow along with me, and it'd be great. I'd love to have your company. Well, I got the bandsaw turned over, and these wires underneath here are a little bit of a mess, and this is just out here, not even, I mean, there was some tape, but it was around here. So we're gonna work on that. We're gonna try to get some shrink tubing on there, and we'll get that all I don't know what you want to call it. We'll get it better than that. Okay, we'll get it better than what it is, because there's going to be water underneath that, so we want that sealed up. Well, I got this here all buttoned up pretty good. I got the shrink tubing on there. I tightened up my switch, which was a little bit loose, and I also, one of these connections here was really loose. Surprised it was working as good as what it was. And the wires were rubbing on that rod, so I drilled a hole in the casting over here, and I put a couple cable ties in there to keep it away from that rod where it doesn't wear a spot on there. And I'm gonna end up on this side over here, I'm gonna end up, get focus in here, I'm gonna put a P-clip on in the bolt that I put in there. It's my plan to hold this wire kind of tight, and this wire going all the way across here, it was sagging. I don't want it to sag into the water, although you know it has the coating on there. But I went ahead on this side and I put a cable tie to where it can't pull through anymore, so it'll stay pretty tight up there, and it won't sit in the water. So that is good. Now my next thing to do is to get these little pieces of metal here, and I'm going to drill them and put the nut certs all in the same spot, and we should be pretty good to go. I can set the tray on top of this wood. I'm not going to fasten it down right away, but I'm going to set the tray on top, and then I'm going to set this down with all its new legs on there, and hopefully it will set. I got to take these things off. Hopefully it will set, you know, nice and level. If it doesn't, I can trim it up, and then I'll tack it on there. That's my next plan. I got all these pieces cut up and cleaned up, and oh, that one didn't go quite all the way through. Didn't notice that. Huh. Okay. There we go. I got it broke off. Okay. So I'm going to put these nut certs in there. If you guys don't have one of these, you know, I fumbled around for the longest time trying to use double nuts and save money and all that. This little tool, I think I got it on Amazon for 50 bucks, 48 bucks, something like it. It was cheaper than Harbour Freight, and I got inserts with it, nut certs, and these things are relatively inexpensive, and man, are they nice to have. So I'm going to put these in all them little stands, and then we're gonna have feet on this, guys. We're gonna have little feet extensions, and then I can set it in the tray, and we'll go from there. Well, guys, that's the way it looks right now. I got it welded on there. Most of the welds look pretty decent. You know, not fantastic. This one up here I'm not really happy with, but kind of goobered up a little bit. But you know what? It'll hold. It'll hold. So it's really nice and solid, just sitting on the tray. But what I'm going to do, and I forgot it, should have done it beforehand, was I'm gonna cut some of these tabs and I'm going to weld them up underneath here, coming down, and then screw them right into here. That way I don't have any holes going straight through the pan. But I totally, you know, escaped me. So I'm going to put 4 of them, 2 on the front, 2 on the back, and that will secure it good enough. And then we'll be done with the pan part of it. I got to shoot some paint on this. Got a can of primer here, Krylon primer, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll go ahead and cut them tabs. I'll have me some metal in the tray, but yeah, it's going to have metal in there. That's what it's there for. Alright guys, I want to show you what I got right now. Well, I drilled a hole and I welded a 1/2 inch nipple on there, and I went ahead and I screwed a little fitting, a little PVC fitting onto it that's going to have a hose, and that's what's going to drain in my tank. I still don't have the parts yet from Amazon, and I didn't grind this down all the way flush because I want to leave a little bit of a berm there. This is where the water runs down. It runs to this side, and I want to kind of trap any metal shavings along the way, so I'm hoping to trap them and let the water fill up just a little bit more, and then it'll go ahead and run down in my reservoir. Now I'm going to have a reservoir. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I just got a 3D printer for Christmas. Don't really know how to use it. I would love to print me up a little basket, a little tank for the coolant to go in. I want a dual stage. I want to have something like this here, jug. I thought about using that sideways and having the pump on this top shelf up here, and having the debris or the coolant dump, the hose run in on this side. That way all the heavy metal flows to the bottom, and by the time the water fills up enough for it to get to the pump, there shouldn't be any metal in it. That's a theory. Also, I could put a filter or a sock or something on that hose. I thought about getting a regular sock, guys. You know, real redneck. A regular sock. A sock, you know, like you're missing one in the dryer, you only have one. Perfect candidate. Cable tie it to the hose, shove the hose down in there, it catches all the metal. Yeah, you got to improvise there sometimes. But anyway, don't want any metal getting into the pump or it'll trash it. And then of course the pump will pump up from there, and then it'll come across here, and I want it to go over up on this side, probably run around up top here is what I'm planning on, and come over this way. So that's my plans, and this is where I got took off Christmas, didn't work on it, so I'm back at it today. Well, I just had an epiphany. I got some of these little screens here for the pressure washer. Of course, you can use them for anything. Some washers and dryers have them on it, and anyway, they have them on the pressure washers too, on the inlet nozzle, to save your pump from any kind of debris or anything. Well, I had a pack of them, and I had one left, and look at that thing. It fits right down in that hole. The rubber makes it a little too high. I'm not sure if the rubber is vulcanized onto that metal. So, you know, that would really filter any debris from getting down in there. The water may get up way too high before it ever goes down inside of there, but we'll see. We'll see how it works. I can always take it out. It's nothing permanent. We'll see how it works. Well, here's the plan right now. I got this bucket with a little bit of old antifreeze in there, and you see that little ledge right there on it? That's a perfect place for me to mount my pump. So my pump still isn't in. I'm gonna I was lackadaisical, guys, in ordering it. So I was wanting to get all my stuff together, and it's the holidays, you know how it goes. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the pump there on top of that ledge. I'm gonna end up turning it around where it's on this side. So the pump will be there, and I'm gonna have the spigot or the spout or whatever dump into the tank over here. So if there's any sediment at all, any metal shavings or any imperfections, that are in the fluid, it'll be on this side. It'll dump on the bottom, and the pump will be raised, so it shouldn't suck anything up. But I'm going to have a boot, a sock, filter, whatever you want to call it, on the end of that hose. So, of course, I'll have a lid on here. Put the lid on it. And then I'll secure this over to the side, maybe here. I thought about up here, maybe, I don't know, somewhere convenient. I told you I was going to use whatever I had, and this, I have an abundance of these little 5-gallon buckets from hydraulic oil here and there. So that's what I'm going to use. My parts should be in today, hopefully, what they say, at least some of them. And I'll be able to go ahead and do a little bit more. All right, here's what I got so far. I got the pump in, little submersible pump. It was under 20 bucks. I think 18, something like that. I'm not really sure. But it wasn't that much money. But I got a problem with the size of the outlet here. It come with fittings. It come with an assortment of fittings here. I can show you. Come with an assortment of sizes, but none of them are gonna graduate down to the size I need, which is this 1/4 inch right here, tubing that I'm dealing with. This come with a kit that I bought, and this stuff I had. So they're both 1/4 inch. I could use either one. I got all these little push to connect fittings right here, which is pretty cool. That'll go together quickly. But what I need is adapters. Here's what I've come up with. I need to make this work. Now, the part that I'm waiting on to come in that I don't have yet will be a magnetic little base that will just stick right on here. This here was like $6. This was relatively cheap. I'm wondering if this is something I could print on my 3D printer. Bet you I could. But anyway, this was relatively cheap. The other thing was more expensive. The base, a magnetic base. But, with that, it means I don't have to drill and tap this lip here. I don't have any problems with drilling and tapping. I just have a problem with finding the right screw with the right thread type that I'm tapping it for. Getting all that arranged would be a headache. But if I can just put a magnetic base on here and it's only got one single spout coming out of it, so I think I'm going to just change it. That's why I bought this one, put this dual spout, because what I want is I want lubrication before my cut, and I want to rinse off the saw blade after my cut before it goes in the around the wheel, because when you have a dry saw blade, things would tend to fall off after they're cut, just drop right off. But if it's wet and it's a little bit sticky, then you know, metal would tend to stay on the blade. So I want to be able to wash it off. All your big time professional band saws, they all have one before and one after. And actually the one that I've been using for years at work, it has a little wire brush that spins around and actually helps knock the stuff off the blade. Anyway, here's what I've come up with. This here should fit into the port that I have on the magnetic base that's coming up. So what I'm thinking about doing is putting, what am I thinking about doing with this here? I think the tubing will fit inside of here. Yeah, that's what I was going to do with this. Yeah, okay. The tubing fits inside of here. See if I can do this here. The tubing will fit inside, kind of loosely. But what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to cut a piece of this hose here. I'm going to put the hose over top of the barbed end and over top of the tubing, and I'm going to clamp it onto the tubing real good. And hopefully this pump ain't going to put out enough pressure, I don't think, to blow that off. It could, but if it does, then I'll back up and regroup. But when I'm done with this right here, is I have shoved this inside of the nipple, and what I'm going to do is pretty much the same thing here. I'm going to use this for kind of like a bushing, and I'm gonna cut me some slits in here to where this can actually compress, and I'm putting the tubing inside of here, inside of this this line, and then I'm going to put a hose clamp and compress everything and try to hold it. And then I'm going to put some super weather strip adhesive around here just to give it a fighting chance to hold on where it doesn't, you know, go ahead and slip out. And this will fit nicely right inside of there. So that's what I'm trying, guys. We'll see if it works, and after I get it cut, I'll show you the finished product there. I think I got a little bit of a change of plans here. I'm going to go ahead and cut this tubing, if I can do it with one hand here. Okay, there. I don't think I'm going to get this fitting to compress enough if I put all the cuts in here, and then it's going to have less holding power, because I had to cram this in there pretty good. So I really don't think it's going to come out, but I'm going to go ahead and, you know, daub up the weather strip adhesive around here, and once that stuff dries, I don't think it's going anywhere. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put me a piece of tubing through here. I'll put it all the way through, put it all the way through to this side, and then I'm going to heat up the end of it, the very end of it here, and maybe try to shove one of them Christmas tree looking drill bits in there and flare it out to where the pressure, whatever pressure this pump has, it can't blow it out. And then I'll put a hose clamp around it to seal it, and I think that's gonna seal it good enough to where it don't go anywhere. Let's try it. Well, what you think about that, huh? The little Christmas tree thing idea didn't work, so I resorted to a pair of needle nose pliers. I put them in there and wallered it around and ended up, you know, opening them up a little bit. But now when you slide this up, it goes up against that tubing, and it ain't gonna blow out. At least it's gonna be harder to blow out. So I'm gonna shove a little bit of that 3M super weather strip adhesive in there. I'm gonna blow some in there, and I'm gonna put some around here and put a hose clamp I got on there, and I think that'll hold it. Well, guys, I got that all together. See, it's all gooped up there, and once that dries, it ain't going nowhere. I need to make some kind of plate or something for the pump to sit on, because it's a little too big to sit on that in there. So I don't know what I'm gonna make yet, what I'm gonna make it out of, how I'm gonna mount it, but I got to get something. Well, I found some old shelving material. I've always got some of this laying around. I got a guy that does scrapping, and whenever he gets this, he lets me know, and I pick and choose if I want it or not. And you know, I want most of it. It's always useful for something, guys. That I wouldn't ever throw this away, because right here I shot my old peepers down through there, and I saw that this is about the width that I could use. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get probably this end over here and set it down on that side of that, whatever you want to call that thing. And this side over here that's way too long, I'm going to bend it about 2.5 inches upward to where it will sit down on the bottom. And I think that'll work. I'll cable tie the pump to this. It'll be up off the bottom, and I think I'm going to have something I can use. See how it works. All right, well, that's what I wound up with right there. I just marked it and clamped it in the vise and kind of pushed it over a little bit at a time. Let's see if it'll fit in here. Well, it's a little bit big. All right, well, I pushed that side in, the back side, just a little bit. I cut that off more flush. I could go a tiny bit more. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like that's going to work. That'll be good enough. Keep it off the bottom. cable tie to that, and I'll be good. Let me get this back out. Comes out a lot easier than it went in. Just hang that there. Alright, so I got a pump mount now. Alright, well, I got my hose all connected to the pump, and I've cable tied it onto this rack. I put a little piece of rubber, actually that's floor mat. You know, guys, anytime you see rubber floor mat on sale or whatever, I got this over at one of them Amazon outlet things for big old floor mat for $2. And it's nice and squishy, and you can use it for a whole bunch of stuff. You could use it in your car for a floor mat as far as that goes. But yeah, you don't want to pass up that stuff, because it's always usable. Mud flaps are great too. You see mud flaps laying on the side of the road, pick them suckers up. You will find a use for them, believe me. Rubber feet on the bottom of, you know, things, items, whatever. Anyway, I'm going to put this on down in there. You know what? I ought to clean that bucket out first. Well, guys, I was up a little late last night. I couldn't sleep. So I come out here and I worked on this a little bit more. I don't remember exactly where I left off, but I got the drain in there, and you see, just like I said, I got a sock on the outflow tube right there. So it drains in there. That catches any chips that get past that little strainer, if I even leave that in there. Not really sure. That may bring the water level too high. Got my pump in there, and I got it's plumbed up. It's way too long, but I really want to put a lid on here so, you know, it looks neater. So I'm going to have to run that through a lid, so that means I'm going to have to cut the tube, and I'll just put a union in there. I've got a lot of extra line. Anyway, I run that. Show you on this side. I run it around over this way, all the way around to the back, and then across the top. And what I did was I glued this right here. This should be set well enough now where I can pull the tape off. I glued this little valve, shut-off valve. And maybe it's not glued that as good as I thought it was. But anyway, I've got it glued to the body of this machine to make it just a little bit more stable. This is a magnet here that is holding on, and it's a pretty stable magnet. Anyway, I put P-clips up here in the back. P-clips are holding the line from rubbing this here that I have no shroud for. I didn't get a shroud with this machine. Maybe I'm thinking maybe I can print one up when I get my 3D printer up and running. But yeah, I think it's ready to try, but I didn't want to try it last night without you guys watching for the first time. So all I really need to do is put some water in here, remove these tools out of the way, and we'll try it out. Well, I got a scrap piece of metal in there. You can see when I fold the table down or up that it just there's plenty of room for the tube there. It just flexes right on down with it. So let's go to cut. I just got this kind of rigged up here because I don't have a switch yet. Don't really know what I want to do with the switch. I'd like to have it where I could turn on the turn on the machine both at the same time, and so I might just put an electrical switch down here, just a regular, on and off switch. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna have this power strip on here somewhere because it has a nice long cord on it, and I can go anywhere in the shop. I don't have to be, hemmed into just one place. So this power strip is gonna go on this cabinet somewhere. Just haven't figured it out yet. But anyway, let's see how this pump works for the first time. Well, I guess I don't want to do it like that because I'll be squirting myself. So let's bring this down. Okay, the saw blade is just resting on there. Now let's start up the pump, see what it does. I think I hear it working. Oh yeah, it's working, and it's leaking like a sieve up here somewhere. Looks like it might be in this little fitting right here. Yeah, it's coming from there. I wonder if I can tighten up that hose clamp a little bit more. Yeah, let me see if I can do that. Then I'll come back. Well, I tightened that down. It looks like I got it stopped. So let's try her out. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this with one hand. I got here. Oh, I forgot I had to adjust on my tab there. I got drippage over here. I don't like that dripping where the electrical switch is at. And I'm guessing that's from the this blade over here whatever you want to call this here, from the washer port. I guess it's carrying the water all the way around, which I'm not sure if that's good or not. Well, I always have this one single, this comes with the kit actually, one single unit right here. I could put that just on the one side and not have the washer part of it, but I don't know. That's a real easy fix if I did that, and that would up my pressure too. I would just like to have extra pressure if I need it. So you know what, just for the fun of it, let me try that, see what it's like with just a single one on there. See if any drippage occurs over here, because I don't like that on my electrical components. That water and electric don't mix. I gotta say, that was pretty simple. The hardest part was putting the tape on, and the tape isn't hard at all either. So let's try this one out. This one actually seems like a better quality nozzle thingy. I don't know what you want to call it. So let's try it out and see how it does. I just got the pump turned off right now, or the nozzle turned off, so it's just been bypassing. Definitely have more volume out there, but we also have a leak right there. I just hand tighten this thing. So let me get a wrench and tighten it up. Well, I tighten it up as much as I'm going to tighten it, and there's still a little bit of a leak. I'm either going to have to put some more thread tape on there or put some regular sealant. But it looks like this thing is working better. Let me go ahead and turn this on and cut again, and then we'll see how it does. See if it carries the water all the way around to the switch again. Alright, we're all ready now. I got the metal set up. Whoa. Must have not had that tight enough. The water was still coming around though. Yeah, I'm gonna have to move that switch. Don't like that switch there with the water. I don't know what happened with this here. I'm having trouble tightening this thing up with this being over here, but I did have what I thought was a pretty good clampage on it there. We'll try it again. Okay. Well, we have some water going over there, but not as much. We still have some though. So yeah, I might have to move that switch, which means I got to take this whole thing off of the tray. I think what I'm gonna do, pretty sure what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna weld me some tabs on here, because you see this is all smooth. You might think on the other side there's a ledge like this that the metal is sitting on, but there is not. This is smooth all the way up on the casting there. So once I take these bolts out, this whole unit is going to drop down, and it's going to be hard lining them back up. So I think if I weld some tabs right underneath here on at least 4 of these, 2 on each side, that will hold it in place, and whenever I pick this thing up and set it back down, it'll be all lined up already, and I don't have to worry about anything. And I put the what do you call them, fittings behind here, so there's no nuts. You know what I'm talking about, the crimpable things, the crimpable nut certs, that's what they're called, nut certs. And look at the metal that's accumulated over here already. I really didn't think there would be that much. I thought the metal would just drop down over here and stay there, but no, it's washing. There's metal floating on the top of the water. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, well, my job is not done. I guess I can wire up that switch right into the electrical on here, and then we'll be good. We'll be golden. Well, guys, here's what I come up with. I kept the switch, but I put one of these little rubbers over top of it to make it weatherproof. I put some silicone behind it, some RTV, and I went ahead and screwed it down on there. So this thing is weather tight now. And I'm kind of a fan of having this turn off whenever the cut is over. And that little tab up there that I have loose is going to do that for me. So at least the machine will cut off, the water will keep, you know, flowing. But yeah, this is a better solution for me. And then I can just go ahead and hardwire it up to a main switch that I can turn everything off with when I want to. So this will just be the trigger for when the cut is done, and I can go ahead and you know, use this part of it. Alright, well, what I got done now is I went ahead and I welded them tabs in there like I was talking about. That way when I unbolt it, it doesn't just plummet down to the table. It'll sit there on a little bit of a ledge. I did it front and back, and they're all tacked in. They're not, you know, welded up solid. They're tacked in. 4 tacks on each tab, so that'll be good. I also went ahead and did the tabs on the bottom and screwed it to the base, so it's all secure to the base now, and you can see the spots on top where I burned it in. Now all I have left to do, of course, I used it to cut these little tabs, and man, what a dream. Really nice, cut really good. I need to go ahead and put all this through the lid, which is really what I'm dreading doing. It's going to be a pain, but I got to do it, and then this project will be just about over, except for the wiring of the plug here. I still need to do that. I got this switch where it goes off now with the when it finishes completion of the cut, which is really nice. And I guess that's it. I don't have a switch box, so for right now I'm gonna have to, which is kind of a pain, would be to plug it and unplug it. What I've been doing is I've been shutting that valve off up there up top, and it shuts off the water flow while it's up, and it doesn't bother anything. So yeah, well, let me get to, I got to paint these too. I got to take these clamps off and paint it, and I got to paint this tray. Yeah, that's something else I had to do. I'm thinking about black for this tray, but since everything else is red, I may just paint it red. I don't know. But I don't have black paint or red paint now anyway, so I'll have to wait for that. Let me tackle this lid. Not happy about it. Well, guys, here's what I got right now. I got this all hooked up over here. The lid is on there, which I was dreading doing, and I would like to say that, you know, it wasn't as hard as I thought, but no, it was a pain. I was worried about breaking this nipple off right here, because, you know, it's PVC, it's kind of fragile. Of course, this pipe is welded onto the whatever this is, the pan, so it's okay. But it did started leaking after I was done. Still a little bit wet, but I tightened it up and it quit. I think that's because of the upward, you know, this tube kind of goes up before it goes down. so the water sets over here a little bit, but that's okay. I had quite the large amount of sediment that was building up over here in the screen, and I pulled it out with a magnet. Of course, that screen is stainless steel, so it didn't stick. But I thought, you know, I'm going to put a magnet in there and try to collect some of that before it goes in the screen. And what I kind of come up with was this little remnant piece. I left it there, and it's kind of damming up the water. And if you see, the debris is floating over there to the magnet. The magnet's grabbing the debris, and the water is rolling around the corner. So that might be my end all there. I might even end up tacking a piece of this angle iron right in there, just tacking it right there to the tray. Hey guys, well, I guess this will be the last of this video. What I ended up doing was I shortened this handle here. This was extended by the previous owner. It used to be right there where the union is at, but he had it extended all the way out to here. I don't know why it was bothering me, so I shortened it, and this is very comfortable where it's at right now. So this is the round stock that I cut out of it, and I'm gonna do a little practice run for you. I went ahead and I wired up a switch down here. I don't have a cover plate right now, and I end up using the wrong switch because I can't find where I put my other light switches at. I'm sure I'll run across them, and I'll change this here. That's actually a dimmer switch I got in there. I don't need the dimmer switch. So anyway, that it looks pretty good. I'm gonna cut these tabs off this side over here because it bothers me a little bit, but I'm gonna put a plate on there. But now everything is controlled by that one switch, so I can go ahead and I can turn this on, and it turns on the saw, and it turns on the water, which I do need some cutting fluid in there. And that cuts very nice. It takes a couple seconds to go ahead and turn the switch off, and then, you know, when it's done, I can just turn the switch off down here. Everything's off. And oh, there. And it gives a pretty nice cut. So anyway, guys, love what you're doing. Have fun. Get out there and do something. Gives you good exercise. And, you know, love every day. Remember, chase your dreams. They're not going to chase you. Till next time, see ya.